It's hilarious when people tell me that it's my own fault that I didn't know that Joseph Smith had up to 40 wives. Many of them were polyandrous, where they were married to other men already, and not to mention children. I was told that I just wasn't paying attention. To those who have repeatedly told me this, may I present to you the following piece of evidence: the Teachings of the Prophet Joseph Smith Manual from 2007. When we look up in the index regarding plural marriage, there are only 2 entries. So let's check it out. Under the section Teachings for Our Day, quote, "This book also does not discuss plural marriage." Did you catch that? The doctrines and principles relating to plural marriage were revealed to Joseph Smith as early as 1831. Oh, sure they were. The prophet taught the doctrine of plural marriage, and a number of such marriages were performed during his lifetime. So he taught the doctrine. Cool story. And notice the use of the passive voice here. A number of such marriages were performed during his lifetime. Were performed by whom? Who was getting married here? Well, they don't tell us, do they? And here's the only other section which discusses this concept in that manual. In 1841, the first sealings of couples were performed, and in 1843, the prophet dictated the revelation that describes the eternal nature of the marriage covenant, see Doctrine and Covenants 132. The doctrines in this revelation had been known by the prophet since 1831. As commanded by God, he also taught the doctrine of plural marriage. That's it? Where's the rest of the story? This is an officially produced church manual discussing the prophet Joseph Smith's life. And we skipped over this vitally important fact that he married up to 40 women, including 14-year-old girls, mother-daughter pairs, and women who had already been married. This is an absolute outrage that the church would hide this vital information from its members, including me. It's my own fault that I didn't know that Joseph Smith was a sexual predator? I think not. Some of you seem to have forgotten that it took the church until 2014 for the church to admit for the first time that Joseph Smith was a disgusting polygamist. In an essay posted without fanfare to its website in late October, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints said for the first time that Joseph Smith, founder of the Mormon Church, had as many as 40 wives. Some of these women were also married to friends of his, and one was only 14 when she became Smith's wife. And let's walk you back to that time back in 2014, when the church was finally forced to actually be honest.
Increasing openness of the Mormon Church. Since Mitt Romney's first presidential campaign, Mormonism has received increasing national attention. Recently, the Mormon Church has decided to be more open about the religion. Founded by Joseph Smith in 1830, the church recently posted pictures of the undergarments its members wear and has begun to acknowledge some of the more uncomfortable truths about Joseph Smith himself. The New York Times reports Mormon leaders have acknowledged for the first time that the church's founder and prophet Joseph Smith, portrayed in church materials as a loyal partner to his loving spouse Emma, took as many as 40 wives, some already married, and one only 14 years old. Smith probably did not have sexual relations with all of his wives because some were sealed to him only for the next life.
Probably. Even the church admits that Joseph Smith had sexual relationships with many of his wives, with solid evidence being at least 10 to 12, and moderate evidence of sexual relationships with about 20.
According to the essays posted by the church, but for his first wife, Emma, polygamy was, quote, an excruciating ordeal. The biggest bombshell for some in the essays is that Smith married women who were already married, some to men who were Smith's friends and followers.
So you want to say that this is my fault? Give me a f***ing break.